was the mythical ancient Greek god Atlas standing when he lifted the sky onto his shoulders. Atlas was the son of Iapetus and Oceanus Clymene, or Ocean, the Aegean Ocean. He was the brother of Menitus, Prometheus, and Epimetheus. He was also the husband of Hesperida, from whom he had 7 daughters, the Atlantides or Hesperides, and or the Oceanid Pleione, from whom he had 7 Pleiades, or Isione, who bore him Electra or Ethera, from whom he had Hyandas and 12 daughters. Atlas is also mentioned as the father of Pasiphae, Calypso, and the Arcadian heroine Mira or Calypso, who bore him the son Osun. He was punished by Zeus, as were his 3 other Iapetus brothers. So let's see what Hesiod tells us about Atlas. And Iapetus, the daughter of Oceanus with the beautiful ankles, took Clymene as his wife, and went up with her to a common bed. She bore a child to Atlas, the brave soul, gave birth also to the great imaginative Menetius and Prometheus, the quick-witted with the various tricks, and Epimetheus, the thoughtless, who became the beginning of evil for the gluttonous mortals, since he was the first to receive the woman created by Zeus, the virgin Pandora. The abusive Menetius Zeus, who sounds far away in the Erebus, struck him down with his sooty thunderbolt for his arrogance and his haughty prowess. And Atlas spans the wide sky with his head and arms limbless in a dire need, subjugated, standing at the ends of the earth in front of the sweet-voiced Hesperides. And according to Apollodorus, again, this is what he said: Atlas did not raise the sky in the west, in Hesperida, but in the land of the Hyperboreans, that is, the far north. He went there, and Hercules found him, while earlier he had passed through the Caucasus and other border of the world, the east, and there the other punished brother Prometheus, out of gratitude to the hero for freeing him from the eagle that was eating his liver every day, instructed him to persuade Atlas to take the apples of the Hesperides for him, telling him that he would keep in his place the firmament of heaven as long as his undertaking would last. And Atlas went to the garden of the Hesperides, cut 3 apples, and brought them to Hercules, but he no longer wanted to hold the sky and intended to leave it on the shoulders of Hercules. But he tricked him by trickery. He told him to hold the sky only for a moment so that he could pull a roll of cloth on his he could put a roll of cloth on his head to lift up more easily. Atlas laid down the apples and took up the sky. Then Hercules grabbed them and left. Some say that he did not take them from Atlas, but that he cut them himself, after first killing the serpent that guarded them. And then Ovid says this about Atlas: when Atlas, the rich king of Mauritania, with many herds of various animals and vast gardens with the famous apples, for the protection of which he had erected walls and set a dragon to guard them, he refused to host Perseus when he learned of his parentage, because an oracle from Thetis on Parnassus had warned him that a son of Zeus would steal his apples. Perseus tried to persuade him, but he couldn't, no matter how much he begged him, and then he took Medusa's head out of his bag and petrified him. Thus the Titan was transformed into the eponymous mountain. His shoulders and arms became peaks taller than his head. His hair and beard became forests. His bones became rocks, and each part became huge, and the starry sky rested on it. It's possible that the story of this transformation is based on the description of the mountain of the same name in Africa by Herodotus, the Atlas Mountains of Africa, whose peaks cannot be distinguished neither in winter nor in summer by the clouds that cover them. The locals call the mountain the pillar of the sky, and themselves they call the Atlantis. Even Diodorus Siculus mentions Atlas as the son of Uranus and a famous astronomer who taught people the laws of the sky. That is why people believe that the whole universe rested on the shoulders of Atlas, the myth alludes to the discovery and description of the spherical universe by Atlas, according to Diodorus. He was the father of many children, among whom Hesperus stood out for his piety, justice, and humanity. A storm snatched him from Mount Atlas, and he was destroyed for his piety. We have also seen in representation on a laconic goblet by the Arcesula painter, 550 BC, the two punished titans, Atlas and Prometheus, at the edge of the world. In the west, Atlas raises the sky. In the east, Prometheus is tyrannized, tied to a pillar. And the two titans look like cornerstones and points of orientation. Who was Atlas anyway? And why should Atlas have been condemned to carry the firmament on his shoulders? This is exactly how I feel on a personal level too, for those who know this divine punishment that Atlas endured with admirable and exemplary perseverance. That's why we received the name Atlas from A and Tlan, meaning enduring everything. For this reason, therefore, stood Atlas on the summit of a great mountain in Africa, which was named after him. So Hercules also found him there when Eurystheus ordered him to bring the apples of the Hesperides, and because, on the advice of Prometheus, he did not want to go himself to the garden of Hesperides, he replaced Atlas in his heavy duties for as long a time as he would be absent. But when Atlas returned with the precious fruit, he did not want to hold the sky. Then Hercules pretended that he wanted a little help to hold the dome better, managed to leave all the burden to Atlas, and thus Atlas continued his punishment. So if we take mythology into account, maybe Atlas wasn't even a historical person, because we know very well that myths only record events that marked humanity. But again, if there was a real person again, when did he live? And this was from Yanis Stoyanis, Elianos Iphigeniis. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.